One identity in an individual with dissociative identity disorder can be dramatic. As much as the difference between you and me, the identities have different IQs. They have different physical strengths. Their ability to hyper-focus and have different experiences is astounding. Have these individuals, through their suffering, unlocked the potential of the brain? Is this where our sense of the supernatural comes from?
What if a person with DID thought one of its personalities was supernatural? Would they have supernatural powers? I love taking real-world things and asking a question of, is there a plausible way to believe in the unknown? An easy way to think about why I was interested in coming back to this world of Unbreakable was a really simple one. I was a young man when I wrote Unbreakable and was very masculine-oriented, very kind of, guy-oriented. And then I had kids. And then for a long while my kids were growing up, I was more interested in family-oriented stuff because that's really where my headspace was. So I was telling younger stories and to a younger audience, to children, and my kids have grown up. It's just life, and so you live for other people a little bit more, and then you live back for yourself a little bit. And now when I'm thinking about myself, those things that I was writing about during the Unbreakable time are valid again.
I said tonight, what is the character's name? And he said,
I can't tell you that, just read the script. And he was like, what? He didn't understand what I was saying, because it was like, what am I supposed to point out every other character in the script?
Just read the script, it's pretty crazy, and you've got to stick with it.
I think he just thought it was so messed up and so whacked that it was crazy, and he's so up for anything.
And I got through the first 10 pages, and I was like, what is this? And then the next 10 pages, it was a different, what is that? I think that's the joy of what Knight does so well, is that he keeps an audience on their toes, trying to figure out, what kind of film are we watching? Are we watching a thriller? Are we watching a supernatural? Are we watching a horror movie? What are we watching?
I think I'll put a pretty flower in your hair.
Well, I had to work hard to get the script. Originally, they wanted me to sign on without having read it. I was like, please let me read the script. And I read it on the plane ride, pretty much coming to Philadelphia.
Everything about the script was top secret. I was texting Haley, tell me what happens, and she was saying, no, I can't. I want you to be surprised yourself.
Once I got the script, it was way more screwed up and creepy than I could have ever imagined. It was great to read because I had no clue what to expect.
Haley.
You're just left on a cliffhanger at the end of each page, just wanting to know what's going to be the outcome of all of this. Where's this going to go? And it goes in ways you would never expect.
You're saying that you're not gonna fight with everything in you? You know the only chance we have is if all three of us go crazy on this guy.
Claire is really the leader of the group that's saying things like, we need to fight him, we need to escape, we can do this, we can all get together and get out of here, like this isn't the end. Marcia kind of looks to her as that leader in this really, really like screwed up time.
I was shocked and amazed, and I loved my character, and I could find a way into her, and I could understand the way that she was feeling about things, and I could also really relate to how she was so much of an outsider and how she just didn't fit into the situation.
Dr. Fletcher is a very one-pointed person. She's very committed to her work with her patients.
Well, can we sit down and talk?
I'm in a real hurry.
I feel it's important that we talk, and I make sure that you are okay.
She has dedicated her whole life to that work. She has some very cutting-edge perspectives about who her patients really are, and that they really are at the edge of the evolution of mankind in so many ways. Who are you?
The ambiance on set is marvelous. It's just so family-oriented, and even if things are going wrong, everyone's pretty relaxed.
Ah, someone get her off me!
We make jokes and stuff. I do a lot of eating a lot of fruit snacks and yummy wraps that the beautiful, crafty ladies make us, which, takes our mind off the terrible stuff we're going through as
our characters. You know, you come into work and you're not thinking, oh, this is this good scene where we're smiling and happy. It's like, okay, and we're back in that mode. We're back in the mode of like all of us like crying and shivering. And for me anyway, I have to laugh and I have to have fun. You know, I'm on a set with all of these amazing people. I want to get to know them. So in between, I have to sort of let go and laugh.
I've had a really good time with Anya Taylor-Joy and Jess Sula. Haley Lou's just been a right laugh. And Betty Buckley as well, just an incredible bunch of women, which I was slightly scared of coming in, because it's like I'm going to be properly outnumbered, you know? And they've been really gentle with me, really sort of. They've really been sensitive to the fact that I am the lone male.
The visual look of this film, I've really been incredibly excited about. It is, in my opinion, his most cinematic movie.
It feels very like a French film in a lot of ways. There's a style to it. The way they're lighting the movie and the way they're shooting this is very, very artistic and beautiful. And it's, I think, an unusual combination for a film that's meant to scare the bejesus out of you, too.
It's stylized in a very subtle way. Very natural, but mysterious and moody. And I love it, because you know, you see just enough, but there's also enough in the shadows that you want to see more.
Split was always inspired by independent cinema, but like, for example, when you look at the people that I hired, I saw the movie It Follows, and I thought that I just loved the way it was shot, so I got that cinematographer, this young guy who barely had shot anything. He shot It Follows, and that was it, and I was like, hey, do you want to shoot my movie? I mean, I didn't know if it would work out, but it did. It really, really did. Also, it didn't hurt when he was in the interview and he's like, Unbreakable is one of my favorite movies. I'm like, you're hired. And then Mara, who did the production design for us, I saw True Detective, which really affected me. I was like, who did that? Let me get that person. So Mara came on and she did the production design and it was wonderful.
What's amazing about Night is, I mean, he has the whole movie in his head. It's probably the most succinct design process that I've had, because there's so much thought behind everything that there really isn't any guesswork that needs to happen. You think when you get down into the windowless room for the first time that this is the basement or something else, and that's the world. But then the reality of it is that we keep kind of peeling out and opening up that subterranean space, and it's a completely different story. And even beyond that, we have the multiple personality impact of the character that we have to kind of dress into the set, but also not reveal right away. So there's a lot of nuance and subtlety that we really tried to address in all of the set dressing, and it's been really fun actually having the crew come to set, because once they're trapped in a space for an hour trying to light something, they look around, they're like, oh, I get it, this is part of this world. And that's the greatest reward, I think, for me, is when people, you know, kind of catch these little things that we work so hard to thread throughout. Because we're making a film in Philadelphia, and because he's so loyal and such an amazing citizen of the city, there's also a lot of opportunities that present themselves that I don't think a film this size that was just coming in without its connections to the city, that we wouldn't have access to. So in some ways, the production value is actually much higher. We have some really big moments. I don't think we would have gotten them without Night's persuasion.
I think that's really cool that Knight uses the resources he has to make the movie that he wants to make.
I think he's really brave, bold, and I think he's really clever. He's bucking the trend that says, in order to tell an audience that you've got a good story, you have to spend 200 million on it. I don't think budget is really a signifier of quality, but just a symbol of how many cranes or how many lights or how many big actors are in it. Doesn't mean it's a good story. And I think what he's doing is clearing away all the interference, and he's getting back to proper good storytelling.